Hello everyone. Welcome back to part two with Carl Chatham. So we've been through part one. We've asked Carl all sorts of questions. Some of them have stumped him. Some of them we've delved deeper into finding out about Carl. Now we're going to have a listen to some of Carl's music. So how are you feeling about sort of listening to your music or having someone play your music back to you?
I don't mind that. I know people who've got a big um have problems with that a lot of the time. Uh Sometimes it depends on the context, who's listening to it, um but yeah, in general I'm all for it.
Okay, nice.
See if someone's listening to it.
Yeah, well, at least like this in this format, we're having a little bit of a conversation complimenting your music, your releases. I have it where I've got teenagers. I work in a school, and they come up to me and play my music in front of me just to annoy me. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, that's
that context isn't great.
uh,
This
what-
context is a nice nice peaceful environment where you get to sort of explore your tracks in a bit of depth. Um, so, the first track we're going to listen to uh, is Self Portrait, which released on the 10th of Feb, 2023. So, have a listen to this and we'll jump back in.
Paper thin, pencil me in. If you can make time for me and color me in. It's too hard to see, I'm all up in here. Closed in a room with all I feel. How do you know it's going wrong? I've been losing all along. I'm an ugly truth, a haunted memory of trauma in youth. You are an accident I would choose. You are an accident I would choose. I'm on your side every time you're losing your smile. You're in the sky, something is between you and I've always loved you, darling. I just don't know how to. I've always loved you, darling. I just don't know how to. All of my fear is ever so clear. I'm falling for centuries without you here. All of the trees hanging from me, well, the other way around is all I see. How do you know it's going right? I seem to miss it every time, 'cause I'm an ugly truth, a haunted memory of trauma in youth. Well, you are an accident I would choose. I'm on your side every time you're losing your smile. You're in the sky, something is between you and I've always loved you, darling. I just don't know how to. I've always lived just don't know how to.
So that was Self-Portrait. Um, yeah, so just hearing hearing that song, the spacey sort of guitars in there, or the heavily reverberant guitars. Um, yeah, what was sort of the idea behind the atmosphere, the track?
I think that I'm initially with writing all of the time, I'm always kind of sitting there and with a guitar and a delay pedal or something.
Mm.
Uh, and that was just one of the ones where it didn't, it kind of stayed that way. It didn't evolve into like, you know, putting drums or something bigger than that. It's got a lot of, strings and kind of pianos and whatnot towards the end, but more or less is kind of just a guitar and vocal song, really. Um, and yeah, I thought it was important to kind of keep that vibe. It was interesting when it was like the producer that I kind of make stuff with now. That was the first thing that she worked on with me. And initially, she was like changed the rhythm of it and put on a kind of a big drum kit, and it was a kind of completely different song suddenly. And I was like, no, like we just go back to kind of where we were, like, and just being stubborn with it again, really. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's yeah, it kind of never went too far away from where it was initially. It's kind of like a fragile tune, so I just wanted to kind of keep it that way. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And who's the producer which you're working with?
Yeah, her name's Mary Nyman, and she uh, was interning at my manager's place for a while. So we did that heirloom EP together at the time, and then ever since then, I've just worked remotely. I think she's moved to Germany now, but yeah, I tend to do all the recording and producing a bit on my side, and then I just send her all the stems eventually, and mix this and do what you want with it really. And it's yeah, it's got better and better really as we've got to uh, know how each other works, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. You want someone who you work with to sort of have an idea of the sound that you want to end up having. You don't want to suddenly have a whole heap of discussions over and over and over again about what you want and not ever getting there.
Yeah, it gets easier as you go along. It's like going to a new hairdresser for the first time or something. To like get four haircuts before they actually know what you want or something.
Speaking of, my barber's is closing down the road. I'm gonna have to find a new one. It's a little
Yeah.
sidetrack. Yeah. um, yeah. So I mean, it kind of fits in with that song as a starter of Self-Portrait. That sort of delayed, reflective kind of element where it's all spacey. It gives you. It kind of feels like it gives it a sort of reflective tone to it, sort of like holding up a mirror to yourself
Mm,
in the track, which again, self-portrait as a title, uh,
yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of works out really well. Um, yeah, I think it's quite an interesting thing with the music and song titles because a lot of people with song titles nowadays, myself included, uh, don't really give a lot of emphasis on that sort of linking with the track. And
Mm,
it does really, when a track reflects the song title, it draws people in to listen a lot more, I feel. because they know what they're getting. It's not like they've got to dig for the meaning and why it's the song title in the track. It's like, no, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah, totally. I think yeah, there's some of that. I was actually I was initially kind of not advised, but uh, that title didn't really work well with some people for whatever reason. But I've always been pretty obsessed with titles, kind of for a different reason. But uh, I've always tended to write the titles before the song exists. I've just got like a notes bit on my phone that's been going from like 2019 that is just like different titles, and it's like 3 miles long at this point. And actually, like the album, the Neon Spring album, the track list in the order that it is, and all of those song names existed before a single note of the music was written. And it was kind of like uh, I remember hearing Earl Sweatshirt talk about it one time that kind of the idea of seeing something go up for like pre-order, like on iTunes, when all the sort of songs are blanked out, but you can just see the titles, but you can't play any of them, and it's kind of like imagining what that is going to sound like when you hear it, and even just seeing that, like, oh shit, that last song is like 7.5 minutes long. I wonder what that's going to be like. Why is it that long, and why is it called that? And yeah, people can get really kind of creative with the way they title things with like kind of numbers and symbols and all this mad stuff. And um, I've always really liked stuff like that. And if anything, like now, these days, my titles have got a lot more tame and uh, typical. You know, they tend to just be like whatever's in the chorus of the
Yeah.
song. But yeah, they all came from before the music existed. You know.
Oh, nice. So uh, as a separate thing, we're now moving on to the next song of the three that we're having a listen to, which is Departure Day, which you released on the 19th of September, 2024. So we'll have a listen to this and then we'll jump back in to talk about Departure Day.
I am a true believer in the damage I will do. I've done enough depending to know I'm killing you. I think I'm coming home to you. I miss your avenue. I want to hear you crying. Gives me something to lose. Not knowing what I'm hiding isn't something I choose. Unfolding my disguises, a trail of wasted youth. What does it take to say it? You know you've lived your life. I'll leave my bags with you now. Departure days arrived. I gave you grieving flowers, they died before the spring. I never meant to hurt you, I never mean a thing. I look to home for something, I find what made me wrong. You're standing at my bedside, you sing my favorite song. I see your eyes are raining, you know my final days. Some things don't need explaining, you see it in my face. God, if you're there, I'm missing, and no one knows I'm gone. I caught a glimpse of daylight, I left before the dawn. I think I'm leaving home. something I choose, unfolding my disguises, a trail of wasted youth. What does it take to say it? You know you've lived your life. I'll leave my bags with you now. Departure days arrived.
So, uh, that was Departure Day. Um, I really like the sort of minimalistic style you have going on in that song with the piano and the vocals. It's kind of like a, not all the time, but it kind of felt like a call and response for some of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It was very quickly written, that one, just because of the kind of cyclical repetition. Um, it was like the blueprint was set from the word go, and you just had to kind of fill in the blanks all the way through. And I felt like I could have kept going for a while. I thought about adding like a third verse to that, and I thought that's probably overkill, really. But yeah, it stayed like just a um piano and vocals for ages and ages, and then again you just kind of you hear it so many times and you start running away with putting on the kind of bells and whistles and all that stuff. And um I like the way it ended up though, but I'm sure there's some people that would have just preferred that to be very dry piano. But yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, well, it's kind of keeping within the sort of tone from Self-Portrait and everything, having the sort of delay or the reverb on it, which kind of has a spacey atmosphere. It's kind of, I know they came out almost over a year apart, um, but keeping with that sort of brand from Self-Portrait, I found was sort of quite nice. Um,
Yeah, it's fast. I think the nature of just releasing things is like so unpredictable. They were written maybe a year apart, maybe less than a year. You lose track of stuff, but um, uh, sometimes things just take so long to get done for various reasons that it looks like uh, you should be at a completely different point now, or whatever. Or maybe things shouldn't sound the same, but sometimes stuff is written like weeks apart, and then they'll come out like a year and a half apart.
yeah,
It's the nature of things. But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So, uh, yeah, the next one we're gonna have a listen to, the final one. This is the one which kind of brought me into listening to your music, which was from this year, which was Bulldozer,
cool.
which you released on the 29th of May 2025. Um, yeah, so we'll have a listen to that and we'll round off. Is this your most recent song, or do you have one after this that you've released?
No, this is the most recent one at the moment. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So yeah, we'll have a listen to Bulldozer.
Cool.
These tiny wastes become a landfill. It's the heart that knows the truth. Everyday life becomes a standstill. We've all erased our only youth. Windowsill life, a wish upon dust. There's no greater loneliness. I'm choosing to She's outside waiting for love. She's outside picking up stones, debris of a house we called home. The tiniest of things mean the most. She's looking for a life overjoyed in the ruins of a world I destroyed. Laying here since I was born in a spirit full of walls, and I built them on my own. What's the use asking for more? Four-leaf clovers on the floor, bulldozers at my door. This house of hell becomes the standard. I lie beneath the floor alone, but they're all outside waiting for love. All outside singing their songs, but they're living in a life full of woes. They don't know the small things mean the most. Laying here since I was born in a spirit full of walls, and I built them on my own. What's the use asking for more? Four-leaf clovers on the floor, bulldozers at my door. What's the use asking for more? Four-leaf clovers on the floor, bulldozers at my door. Laying here since I was born in a spirit full of walls, and I built them on my own. What's the use asking for more? Four-leaf clovers on the floor, bulldozers at my door. What's the use asking for more? Four-leaf clovers on the floor, bulldozers at my door. What's the use asking for more? Four-leaf clovers on the floor, bulldozers at my door.
So, that was Bulldozer. Um, so first thing, the sort of build up, which is sort of, I think it comes around the second chorus, was really, really good. It kind of had that spacey feel, then it kind of built up to something, and then I think it's the final chorus leading to the ending. You got kind of like these pitch shifted down vocals. I'm assuming they're not your vocals, and that you've pitch shifted your own vocals down, unless you can sing that low, which is very impressive.
Yeah, they're all me. The one, yeah, there's like a bridge there with uh kind of demonic sounding spoken word part thing, which is only is only slightly pitched down, like two or three uh semitones or whatever it is. And then the kind of most sung part over that is like the it's not like pitched down in terms of like um well the pitch, but it's like the formant so like lower, so it kind of sounds like that kind of like that kind of Bon Iver auto tune. They kind of doing a lot of trap music or whatever
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Okay. And it's also worth to point out that this song is 5 minutes and 18 seconds long.
Yeah.
Uh, Going for the Bohemian Rhapsody kind of style there of length.
Yeah.
What made you? Because of course, most songs now are maximum 3.5 minutes. A lot of the time, a lot of songs are actually getting shorter to be like 2.5 minutes now, like half the length of this track. Um, what kind of made you feel like, okay, this one needs to be longer?
Um, I don't. It's never really a much of a conscious decision. Um, you kind of just get to the end of something and think, you know, how much of this would I get rid of if I had to? And
Hmm.
if the answer's none of it, then it just kind of stays. But I think there's a lot of talk about kind of, I don't know, things getting shorter and attention spans and all that kind of thing. And I just kind of feel like it's sort of the same conversation that's been had for years, just in a different format, really. I think you've obviously got the sort of TikTok kind of side of things that um, ramps that up a bit.
Hmm.
Uh, to the point where maybe like really young generations aren't really aware to some degree that songs are full songs, or like they just have favorite parts of songs, or 30 seconds or
Yeah.
whatever. And I think certain music maybe works really well in that format. Someone like Pink Pantheress or whatever, where like I think her average song length is probably like a minute 20 per song. Um, and she's had like four tunes that have went mental on TikTok, and it works, and
Yeah.
like her music's great for that. But um, I
Which I
don't know.
mean, that's insane in itself. Like songs
Yeah,
being like a minute long. Like I had a artist on here at the start of series two, first episode, Matthew Gokon. He's a Canadian guy, and one of his songs that we listened to is called Brain Rot. Literally all about just the fact that people's like capacity to pay attention for things more than 10 seconds.
yeah.
Now, like they can't do it. They can't focus for more than actually 10 seconds is a bit harsh. Let's say 20. But still, it's
think there's truth in that, but I think it can be overstated sometimes. Like, people talk about now like the death of the album or whatever as a format, and well, I know what they mean really, but like I couldn't really disagree more, to some degree because well, I look back at like you know my parents were like consuming music in the 70s and the 80s and stuff like that, just buying
mm,
vinyl because that's basically all we had, and understood the record as the album as a
yeah,
format. Like, it's not like my mum could tell you what track 11 was. It was still very much like a single driven
yeah,
culture. Actually, maybe more so because you bought the singles and they were physically released, and
yeah,
was still kind of the only thing they remembered. And when they went to the concert, they still kind of wanted to hear the hits. And actually now, people that get really into music because it's so easy to find stuff
Mm.
through Spotify and whatever, people nerd out on it a lot more. And there's actually a lot of people are more concerned about, what do you think about the seventh Pink Floyd album? And what do you think about that track 11 that's like 25 minutes long? And I don't think those are discussions that maybe would have been had 20 years ago without kind of
Yeah.
access of people to really. There's always going to be people that are into full albums. There's always going to be people who watch films, and there's always going to be people who read books. And yes, it is harder for everyone to um, stay focused on stuff because there's so many distractions everywhere.
Mhm.
But most people do, in their heart of hearts, want to do that. They still want to go to the cinema and they still want to hear music and see stuff that makes them feel a certain way because everyone knows they don't feel anything from looking at their phone on short form stuff. So there's no point in pandering to it by
Yeah.
making shorter things for that because it's not rewarding anyone anyway.
No, it's not. I mean, it is a. Whoops, just dropped the remote off though. Um, it is an interesting thing with albums now because it is that kind of thing where loads of people want more music from people because
Yeah.
it is so accessible for people to write music. But there's also the issue with musicians, especially ones that have been going for at least a few years or more. You want to make sure that you're releasing music that you want to release. And although it's easy just to pick up the guitar, write a song, record it, release it, it doesn't mean it's actually going to be any good. And musicians only want, I mean, correct me if you feel differently, but musicians, I feel, only really want to release stuff that they feel reflects them in a positive light. They don't want to just release any random thing which they write. They want to make sure they've at least taken a bit of time, made sure it reflects them as a musician and stuff before then releasing it. And I feel like that kind of culture with people wanting just new stuff all the time, that isn't how music works. we're not we're not computers that can just although computers can do that now, unfortunately, it doesn't have the same impact as if an artist has written it.
I would hope that's true. I mean, there's two things. Like, I think people who are really in the mainstream
Mm,
world, even if they are a singer-songwriter, I think really feel the pressure to. It gets quite further and further away from doing stuff that they want to do. I think like that. I'm not really a mega fan or anything, but that Lewis Capaldi had that Netflix documentary that was really behind the scenes on him, like writing his second album, and it just looked so kind of horrible to be.
yeah,
And there's a lot of other people getting their hands in, and just like the pressure to follow up a massive single in that way or a massive run of singles, that it's so easy to lose the thread of why you were even bothering to do this with all that
yeah.
pressure. Um,
I have to say, I did like his interview. I can't remember who it was with, but they were just like, "Oh yeah, what would you say about people going to buy your album?" And he's like, "Don't, it's rubbish. Go buy the new Ed Sheeran one." And I'm just like, interesting way to promote your stuff, but I mean,
oh,
it worked. People loved his new singles and stuff, but it is that kind of thing where when you release something and people like it, then suddenly you've got this issue of, well, shit, I need my next one, my next single, my next album with the songs to be just as good, so that people don't suddenly be like, oh, well, he's dropped off the map, or they've dropped off the map, or uh, yeah,
yeah, it's kind of tale as old as time, that, isn't it? Anyone who gets anywhere has that thing. But I think a lot of the problem with it is like just what like audience expectation and that
mm,
sort of way of like music being pushed more as a form of entertainment than it is
mhm,
an art form for the last
yeah,
like 60 years or whatever is like been a massive problem because people really feel entitled for something and shortchanged if you don't give
mm,
them it. If you don't play the song live that they want to hear, or you don't release the music that
mm,
want to, and it's like this isn't like a public service, man. Like
No.
this is doing what I want to do, and you happen to like it at some point.
Yeah.
And that can all change, and it always does. Like no one has a. It's super rare that someone has a very long discography that everyone is completely enthusiastic about all the way through. You know,
Yeah.
it's just not realistic.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. Well, on that bombshell, uh, on that bombshell, we've sort of reached the end of this of part two of our interview. Um, just before we go on to your socials again, uh, I've noticed this with the last few interviews that I've recorded. My new MacBook, which I've got, which I'm filming these on. It seems like it's got a tracking system on the camera. So if anyone's noticing that while watching these interviews, I do apologize if it's incredibly distracting. I will figure out how to turn it off.
Talked that once or twice. You know, like you know, like zooming in on the guilty party in a TV. Very slow. Like, uh,
Yeah, so I do apologize to people if they're a little bit distracted by it. I am trying to figure out how to turn that off. Um, but anyway, back to your socials. Do you want to plug any social media and stuff?
yeah, for now it's just at Kyle Chatham and two underscores on Instagram. And then yeah, generally speaking, Spotify or Apple Music, wherever you get your music's the best place to be. There's a Bandcamp as well. It's just Kyle Chatham. If you actually wanted to buy anything. And yeah, that's about it. Instagram's the main place to be at the moment.
Do you have any upcoming projects due to be released that you want to plug here?
Yeah, I'd say that I just handed in. There's a new single called "I'm a Still Your Man," and I think it should be out on the 10th of September. Um, and yeah, it's much more upbeat. That was quite a run of miserable songs. This is really the other side of the coin. This next one. And I was thinking while you were playing those three, I was like, I wonder if there was anything else we could have played that would have been like. And I was like, no, no, no. This is all kind of the same vibe. The next one coming out is definitely more of a kind of faster, upbeat vibe. So yeah, check that out when it comes out. See if you like it.
Okay, nice, nice, yeah. So, on that note, everyone, make sure you go and check out Carl Chatham on literally everything Bandcamp. Definitely go and buy something of Carl's if you can. Musicians need all the support that they can get, especially financially, because it's ridiculous. We can't do anything.
Mm.
Um, and yeah, definitely go stream all of Carl's songs and go and follow him on Instagram. And yeah, Carl, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me, James. It was a
Uh,
pleasure.
and again, if you haven't, we've got amazing artists in Series 1, Series 2. I'm not going to list off all of them because that will take me forever. But the artists have, where the interviews have been released before Carl for Series 3, Benita Habels, Shamia Lilly, and Chris Hart. And the ones upcoming after Carl are just two, which is Sasha Auden Arber from, I think, Melbourne, and myself as Jimmy Theo. So there'll be someone else sitting where I'm sitting interviewing me, which will be a very weird change of pace for myself and all of you. Um, but yeah, looking forward to that. And thank you again, Carl, for joining in. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
And see you all in the next episode.